everyone, and thanks very much for coming back and joining me. So I wanted to talk about the movie Joker tonight that was of course directed by the legendary Todd Phillips, and I say that because the movie was absolutely phenomenal. Now this is going to be non-spoiler talk throughout this whole video because I don't want to be ruining it for anybody, and I have already went and seen the movie. I went and seen it the day it came out, which was the 4th of October. Was my highly anticipated movie to go and watch, and just to briefly let you know, I give the movie a 10 out of 10. I thought it was flawless, I thought it was perfect, the pacing was perfect. So I have basically wanted to come on tonight and talk about a nice tweet that Mark Hamill, aka Luke Skywalker, aka Joker of course, has said regarding Joaquin Phoenix, basically his performance in Joker. So let's just go ahead and get this video started. So I'm not only going to be talking about the tweet, guys, sorry I forgot to mention, I'm going to be talking about as well, you know, sort of like criticism and everything that this movie's been getting. And of course, you know, some of you might have heard the actor Joaquin Phoenix, he actually did walk out of an interview. Because, you know, they were basically questioning about, like, you know, oh, do you think this is, you know, going to make people, you know, sort of, that are maybe have, you know, problems, mental problems or whatever, be violent or something along those lines. And I don't actually blame him for walking out, you know, because that's silly. And to be honest, a lot of the criticism that this movie has been getting is utter nonsense. If you haven't seen the movie, do not listen to anything that has been going on. Basically, SJWs hate this movie. So, you know what I mean? I don't really need to go any further than that. But basically, you know, the whole thing I think is silly. You know, it's almost as silly as saying, okay, someone has certain tendencies, okay, right, thinking of something, right, and then they play a certain game with a certain something similar in it. Is that going to then make that person go out and do, you know, X, Y, or Z or whatever? So a film's a film, so you kind of have to draw the line somewhere and sort of say it is a movie, it is a film. And honestly, the best way to describe this movie without giving any spoilers away, I did say this in my spoiler review though, but it's not giving anything away. The best way that I thought of describing this when I done my review was it is just a brilliant reimagination of an iconic film. Honestly, I thought it was a perfect reimagination. I thought it was very smartly and very cleverly done the way Todd Phillips did this whole entire movie. Again, I want to be careful because I don't want to be giving anything, you know, away. But I'm just going to read out this really nice and sweet tweet from the awesome Mark Hamill, aka Joker. He said, this was on Twitter, the awesome Joaquin Phoenix, Todd Phillips and Scott Silver brilliantly reimagined the character as never before seen. 2 thumbs up from that old school comic book version of me. And I thought that was really cool because that's pretty much how I was kind of describing it in my review, you know, like perfect, you know, brilliant reimagination of the character, because that's literally what it is. You know, it was Todd Phillips, you know, his imagine of how he you know, sees Arthur, his story, his character, his origin story. Of course, that is what it is. It's an origin story about Arthur Fleck, and how he, you know, goes on his journey to become, you know, Joker. And, you know, Todd Phillips was pretty open and honest about it. I know I've said this quite a few times before, spoke about it before the movie came out as well, but he was pretty honest and said many months ago, that he wasn't taking any source material at all from the comics. And, you know, of course, obviously we know that. So it was his, you know, complete reimagination of this iconic villain, Joker. And honestly, I think he did a legendary job at it. Honestly, hats off. But what I'm getting really sick of, guys, and it's something that I want to talk about, is the controversy and the nonsense that's going on about this movie. I am sick of seeing stuff all around the internet and, you know, all around like media and things like that. Even before I went and seen the movie, I was hearing, you know, things like it being slagged off, and, you know, certain critics and certain audiences and obviously SJWs saying that, you know, their usual nonsense, you know. But I think it's silly for all this to be going on. I don't see why anybody should be sitting anything other than it was a fantastic film, or it maybe just wasn't for them. But there was nothing in that movie for anybody to complain about, honestly. But one thing that Todd Phillips is right about was he pretty much said, like, imagine And people had a problem with this as well. Imagine trying to actually create comedy movies in today's world now. And, you know, I honestly 100% agree with that. Because if you think about it, guys, now everybody's overly sensitive, you know, like not everybody, but you know where I'm coming from. People get so sensitive, honestly, and they're like snowflakes and igloos. I wish they would just go back to their igloos and just keep on making snowflakes and let them fall on themselves rather than everybody else, because I'm sick of these snowflakes of falling. And, you know, people who have problems with movies like this are the same kind of people that would have took offence to, you know, comedians, or say for example Sticks and Stones. Look at the whole uproar that got. Dave Chappelle's comedy special on Netflix, and also even Bill Burr's comedy special. I have watched both of those twice. I have did a review on both of those. There was nothing there that anybody should have been taking offence to. A transgender actually took offence to the whole Dave Chappelle one, and then went on, it was like a YouTube channel I watched. I did do a video covering all this, and I did show the clip off the transgender, and they were basically saying, oh, you know, we shouldn't be, you know, joking about transgenders at all. Then the next breath they were pretty much given an example of a transgender joke they could have actually, you know, told. So, you know, this is the thing, they're so hypocritical, and just talk when they think it's what they're trying to say. But what I'm trying to say is people are just so overly sensitive to the point where a single joke from a comedian or anything like that could almost destroy their entire career. And these are the same type of people that take offence, and you know, all these stupid SJWs, they're the type of people that try digging through tweets, or digging through, you know, old maybe videos or clips or DVDs or stand-ups of comedians, and try to pull them up on something which is literally just sitting trying to expose someone. And when you're sitting trying to expose someone and going out of your way to look through past stuff to expose someone, that is literally what you call a psychopath. Quite literally, no offence. I mean, they're also the type of people that would find an old tweet and try and post it, you know, and be like, oh, look what I find. But it's literally they've just taken it in the wrong way because they're a snowflake and they've took it overly sensitive. I mean, can you imagine John Cleese, Monty Python, in today's world? Because I can't, honestly. And that is where I'm saying I completely agree where Todd Phillips is coming from. And the thing about this movie, Joker, is Todd Phillips, he dealt with things that go on in life in general, and dealt with things that go on in society. It dealt with a lot of things, you know, mental health issues, you know, things that go on in life in general in society. Like I say, I'm sorry, there was nothing in the movie that I could find that anybody should be taking any harm or offence by. I can't even believe that this is something that's actually seriously being a discussion on the internet, you know. And also Todd Phillips was saying, you know, Twitter as well, you know, we all know Twitter is a toxic place. It's literally, so many trolls are on there. It's like he says, you know, you're best to just not bother. You're best to just say nothing, really. Yeah, and you know what? You really are. So, you know, I just think the whole thing is silly. This is an origin story about Arthur Fleck and how he gets to where he is as Joker. And it's all about him. We get to see a lot in the movie. That's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to give anything away. But I have seen the movie and it is actually really funny as well. There is a lot of humour in it. My stomach was so sore. My stomach was in stitches in some parts of the movie. And I like that they added so much humour in there as well. So, you know, you will get a good laugh out of it. You know, there's nothing in there at all to make anybody feel hard done by. Go and see the movie if you haven't seen it. Even if you're not the biggest DC fan, I would still highly recommend you to go and see it. I've even recommended my parents to both go and see it. They know nothing about Batman. They know nothing about DC. They wouldn't even know what a DC comic looks like. Do you know what I mean? So, you know, normally I wouldn't really recommend my mum to go and see certain movies like DC movies or Marvel movies or anything like that. But this one, I recommended it to them, and my boyfriend even said the same thing. You should both go and see it. Me and my boyfriend thought this was perfect. We both would give it a 10 out of 10 without a shadow of a doubt. And honestly, that and, you know, John Wick Chapter 3 Parabellum has been the two best movies that have just blew my mind. Honestly, Joaquin Phoenix absolutely blew it out of the water. He blew me away. He was brilliant. His performance was top notch, phenomenal. So you know what? Everybody can go and friggin' well frig themselves and take a hike and just shut up, who are sitting and crying about taking offence to this movie, having problems with the movie, and crying like a typical SJW snowflake. Go away somewhere, go to an igloo. You can sit somehow and record a movie yourself in the igloo with other SJWs if you want, and make a movie that you're not going to cry about, you know, because literally we have figured this out time and time again. There's no way of pleasing you, so therefore just go away, literally. That's all I have to say, guys. I just wanted to, you know, share that tweet from Mark Hamill as well, because I love Mark Hamill, love Batman games as well. That was a really nice and sweet thing for him to have said, and he couldn't have summed it up any better, you know, like as I was saying in my spoiler review, not going to spoil anything here, but again what I was saying, you know, I was saying that, you know, it was a perfect reimagination of an iconic villain, and he has said in this tweet, you know, a brilliantly reimagine of the character. Pretty much. So, and I completely agree with him, because that's pretty much what I said in my spoiler review. So I'm 100% with you, Mark Hamill. I absolutely love Mark Hamill. I absolutely love him. And I actually watched Child's Play, because of course he voices Chucky in Child's Play. And I didn't actually get to go to the cinema to see it, because I was kind of a bit skeptical about it. I didn't really feel much from the trailers to kind of, you know, urge me to go and see it. But me and my boyfriend watched it, I think about 3 weeks ago, maybe 4 weeks ago, and it was actually really good. I really enjoyed it. It wasn't amazing or anything, but I really liked it, and it was a great movie. So yeah, that could be maybe a recommendation for you, something good to maybe watch over Halloween. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for coming along tonight and watching my video, and until the next one, don't forget that the Force will be with you always.